Hey everyone, Seth Campbell here. Welcome back to the Segue Says podcast. Well, in this episode, we're going to feature two songs that were number one hits in the 70s. The first is I'll Be Around by the Spinners, and the second is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Now, longtime viewers of this podcast may remember that we have actually featured Dreams before. It was combined with Wrapped Around Your Finger by the Police, but this segue is going to be a bit different, not least because I'm changing the key of Dreams. Now, these two songs do have a lot in common. They're at very similar tempos. Both center around a chord progression that's really just two chords back and forth. And they're also lyrically about similar things, although Dreams is a bit more obscure in its lyrical meaning than I'll Be Around. Both of them are, I guess you could say, requiems to lost love, sung from the perspective of someone whose partner, lover, has moved on. And the sort of the mixed feelings involved in that, of both accepting that it's over, but also not totally shutting the door, which I can relate to a bit more than I would like to at this particular moment in time. But that's another story for another day. So I'll Be Around. Lead vocals by Bobby Smith. The Spinners were a vocal group, so they had 5 lead singers. And then they had session musicians for their backing band. And it's a pretty straightforward song. It's really just the singer saying to his ex-partner, like, look, I get it. You know, you made your decision. You feel you have to leave and look for something else, something new. You know, make a change in your life. You know, but if you ever need anything, you know, you need help with something, or you ever change your mind, you need someone to talk to, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, it's a bit close to home at the moment. It goes something like this. This is our fork in the road. Love's last episode. There's nowhere left to go. Choice. Now it's up to me to bow out gracefully. Though you hold the key, baby. Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around. As you can hear, very simple song. It's just these two chords back and forth, which is E major 7, and then D sharp minor over F sharp. And then this little jump chord in the middle, as I like to call it, is it's just an inversion of the E major 7, just has G sharp in the bass. The other important thing is that these chords are anticipated, so it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all a half beat ahead, so it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And that'll become important in the segue. Now, I do just want to talk a little bit about what key this song is technically in, because it's hard to just say it's in E, because if it were just an E, it would use the E major scale, which would have this 4 in it. Instead, this song uses a sharp 4. So it's technically an E Lydian, and what that means is it feels like it's supposed to go to another chord at some point. The E Lydian scale is the same as a B major scale, so it feels like it's getting ready to go to a B, a classic 4, 5. Well, it's not really 5, it's 3 minor over the 5, but it still functions that way in the bass. It feels like it's going to that B, or to the relative minor of a B for the more technically musically minded, which would be G sharp minor. but it never actually lands on either of these. It keeps cycling back and cycling through, and it never really reaches that sonically satisfying landing point. And that kind of, I think that really contributes a lot to the mood of the lyrics as well. I think it supports it excellently in the sense that the lyrics, again, it's never quite closing the door, writing a definitive end. And it kind of gives the whole song a slightly uneasy feeling to a slightly, uncomfortable melancholy. And I think it supports the lyrics brilliantly. Now, Dreams. Like I said, we're changing the key of it because it starts on F, and we're just bringing that down to E to match I'll Be Around. You could just as easily bring I'll Be Around up, but just for the sake of my vocal range, I'm bringing Dreams back down a half step. Now, of course, this song was from Fleetwood Mac's biggest selling album, Rumors, and one of the most chaotic band stories of all time was really coming to a head when this album was released. And basically all of the songs are the band members writing breakup songs at each other. Some, like this one, are a little more calm and delicate, and some are a lot angrier. But this is the song Stevie Nicks wrote, and I believe it's the only #1 Fleetwood Mac has ever had. And it is also 2 chords. And because we're doing it in this key, which again, much like I'll Be Around, it's Lydian. And so we're doing it in E Lydian. It's just 2 chords back and forth. E. And then F sharp 6, which is also, it's the same notes as D sharp minor 7 over F sharp. You may remember that the second chord in the I'll Be Around progression is just D sharp minor over F sharp. These chord changes, however, are not anticipated. It has that very straightforward, Mick Fleetwood drum line and John McVie bass line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Stevie Nicks' vocals, which I'm going to do my best to replicate here. Well, there you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to bring you down? It's only right that you should play the way that you're feeling. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. The stillness of remembering what you had, what you lost, what you had, what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. They say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You will know. And then there's this little turnaround. And this is where this song actually does include a G sharp minor chord. And that's on to the next verse. Now, as you can hear, again, these are very similar. 2 chord progressions. The bass line, since we changed the key of Dreams, is basically the same. E, F sharp, back and forth. Now, in terms of which way you want to do this as a segue, you can do it either way. You can start with I'll Be Around and go into Dreams. You could start with Dreams, go into I'll Be Around. You could go into one and then back into the other. The way I personally like to do it is to start with I'll Be Around, then go into Dreams, and then end with sort of a tail end of I'll Be Around. So the way you would do that is you get to the last chorus of I'll Be Around, which has a lot of vocal improvisation and builds up. Just call me on the phone, I'll be there. I'll never leave you alone, I'll be there. Just call out your name, I know you know, I'll be around. One little note that's important is the end of the chorus of I'll Be Around does just hold on this E for 2 bars. And that will be useful to us in just a moment. Just a side note, when I do this live, I like to do something that I'm sure everyone who's ever performed this has done, because it's really obvious. If you've got a crowd that seems engaged, you can kind of indicate to them to sing the I'll Be Around and sort of call and response. I would say, whenever you call me, and then just sort of point to the crowd and they'd say, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. And you can get that going, you know, it's great. Crowd participation, and then sort of, so you've cycled on this for basically the entire song, this progression. And then when you're ready to end the chorus, I'll be around. You take advantage of the fact that that E at the end of I'll Be Around holds for 2 bars, and then when you're ready to restart the progression, just instead of doing the progression with the anticipations, the way I'll Be Around does it, you just do it without the anticipations. If you want to muddy the waters even further, you could just keep going. I'll be around. Well, there you go again. You say you want your freedom. Really simple. You just switch from one progression to the other. Now, at the end of Dreams, if you either want to go back into I'll Be Around, or if you start with Dreams and just want to go into I'll Be Around, you've got the last chorus. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You will know. You will know. You will know. I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around. That's how I like to end it. Just one extra chorus of I'll Be Around, keeping the chords without the anticipations. But if you want to go back into I'll Be Around, you should probably put the anticipations in. Either way, what you kind of want to do is, rather than be filling in the chords rhythmically, is you want to make each chord just a hold. So, at the end of Dreams, you will know, when you're done with that, you can just hold the chords, and that makes it easier to jump into doing the anticipations especially. And it also really kind of focuses the attention back onto what you're doing. And if you're just starting I'll Be Around, obviously you'd start with the verse. This is our fork in the road. And obviously, for either of these songs, you really could just sing the melody over the progression played the opposite way. So you could put the anticipations in Dreams, or you could take them out in I'll Be Around and really just play the same two chords back and forth. But I think it makes it more interesting and is more faithful to the moods of the original songs to keep the chords rhythmically the way they are. But that's just me. As always, the hope of this podcast is that you'll see something that inspires you, you'll take it, and you'll do your own thing with it. So hopefully you've enjoyed, hopefully you've learned something, and I'll see you in the next episode.